This is the Unleash Your Life podcast, where you're going to learn to rewild yourself. I'm your host, Lane Smith-Brown, and I'm a best-selling author and rewilding guide. And over the last 20 years, I've been guiding women back to their truest selves. You see, you were born wild with all the wisdom you will ever need to navigate your life in a beautiful and powerful way. Then, just like everyone else on the planet, you got tamed as you fell under the power and influence of others who were also tamed. All that taming you got as a kid has you convinced you are less powerful than you really are. I call all of that unconscious programming power leaks. And on this show, you're going to discover yours, and then you're going to choose to plug them so you can get back to the wild, wise, and powerful being that you are. So grab a coffee, glass of wine, or a favorite friend, or all three, and let's talk about what living your wild self can mean for you. Hello, and welcome to the inaugural episode of the Unleash Your Life podcast. My name is Lane Smith-Brown, and I'm excited that you're taking a moment to see what this show is all about. I've always loved conversations. In fact, the idea of going to a coffee house with a good friend, having a flat white or a cappuccino, and maybe indulging in a tasty little treat that sets the stage for a 2-hour conversation gives me an enormous amount of pleasure. These episodes are going to be closer to 30 minutes, so if you don't have 2 hours, you're all good to stay. As I looked at ways of connecting with more people in the world, I didn't resonate with social media and other avenues, but the idea of creating a podcast with a conversational style appealed to me in so many ways. So here I am. And now here you are too. So welcome. I've been on a path to understand who I am in the world for well over 25 years now. Most of my teachers have been books, but I've had coaches, I've had courses, I've studied different healing modalities, and through decades of exploration, I've come to the conclusion that although those perspectives can be incredibly helpful and have been, the truth is each of us has all the answers we will ever need inside of ourselves, but often we need to be taught how to hear it. It is easy to think that other people know more, and it's true, experience is a great teacher, but if that teaching takes you away from your own power and develops a dependence on a source outside of you, I think it does more harm than good. So the intention with this podcast is to share with you different ideas about how you can fall in love with who you are. You see, we came from source energy. We are made of an energy that has always existed and will never die. It's not religion or philosophy, that's science, and it's undeniable. We are more energy than matter. But we've learned to live in the heaviness of matter instead of the lightness of energy. This show could change that for you. We are a part of the energy that keeps the solar system in place. It keeps our earth spinning, ensures that the sun is the precise distance away to ensure our survival. It animates our body in a way there is very little we need to think about to move through our day. Thankfully, for most of us, it keeps our heart pumping, our blood circulating, and ensures that all other aspects of our body function in a way that allows us to live our physical lives without much effort. But here's the thing. Most people, most of the time, walk around like they are just a human being. They completely disconnect from the truth that they are also the energetic field. The body is simply the vehicle we all use to navigate this world experience. When we learn to recognize that we are a spiritual being, and I don't mean that in a religious sense, housed inside a physical structure so that we can experience our time on earth, it opens up a world of possibilities to what we have access to. And that's what we're going to explore here. I want to talk about ideas that will help you see how powerful you are. I want you to get a taste of what you have access to. How I am going to go about this is by showing you ways that you are living from a less powerful position. And here's why. There are very few humans walking the earth right now that got everything they needed from their caregivers in their early years. This show isn't about blaming anyone, because now that you're a grown-ass woman, you're in the perfect position to fully understand what is playing in your subconscious mind so that you can deliberately move yourself into a different energetic space. All the crap you and everyone else learned to believe about themselves based on what we didn't get in our formative years is what I call power leaks. Power leaks are what tame us into living less than the wild and powerful being we are in the core of our being. Power leaks can show up in a bunch of different ways. They can show up as insecurities, feeling of unworthiness, or feeling incapable of accomplishing stuff. They can show up as a series of lousy relationships, or they can show up as an unhealthy body. Power leaks can show up as self-sabotage or self-harm, and they can show up as settling for just good enough, when you're called to so much more. There's no limit to how power leaks can manifest in our life. When we learn how to recognize them, we take the first step in embracing our natural power. We don't have to search for that power. We don't have to take it, manufacture it, conjure it. Nope. We just have to accept that it is already ours. You see, when we live unconsciously, we create unconsciously. And because we are in our power leaks when we are unconscious, we create some pretty crappy stuff for ourselves. And you know what? We can get addicted to that crappy feeling. It's a real thing. And we'll be talking about that in future shows. Our unconscious mind has misfiled a lot of information that we took in before we were just a few years old. You see, we came in containing all the wisdom we will ever need to live the life we came to live. Then we got delivered into a situation that forced us to acclimate to our surroundings in order for us to survive. We did what we needed to do. We took on other people's beliefs, biases, superstitions, actions, reactions, and others' ways of walking in the world. And we forgot ourselves and our innate wisdom. This is what I refer to our taming phase. We learn to believe the lie that we are simply a human being instead of a powerhouse with complete access to all the wisdom and intelligence of the universe itself. All that wisdom is in you right now. All you have to do is let go of what is currently covering it up and convincing you you're not in choice, or you're not in power, or you're not in control. Truth is, you are in choice, you are in power, and you are in control. You may have to simply trust me on this at this moment, but if you stick with me, you're going to recognize it for yourself. Jung said, until the unconscious becomes conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. That's the vast majority of the world right now. You're listening to this because you want to end the cycle of living unconsciously. You want to stop living the tamed down version of you and live instead in your wild and wonderful natural state, connected deeply to your intuition and clearly on your path to do what you came to do. So let me give you some parameters of where I'm coming from. I'm going to go into this in much more detail in coming shows, but for this moment, I want you to hold on to the fact that the chances of you being on this planet right now are apparently 1 in 400 billion. I didn't do the math on this myself. I'm taking the word of others on the credibility of this number, but 1 in 400 billion. For the particular egg and the particular sperm to have connected at the particular time to create the being that is you defy all reason. Yet here you sit, listening to this show. It's not a matter of you existing. It's a matter of your existence mattering. You are meant to be here, and you were meant to experience what you've experienced so far. And you're now meant to wake up to the realization that your power is ready to be unleashed in the world. Oh, and it's the good kind of power, not the kind that tries to manipulate, control, or overpower others. It's benevolent and collaborative, but it is also in a position to take no shit, as it has authority and it can move mountains, and it's in all of us. But for the vast majority, it's in its latent form, hidden from everyone and everything, including themselves. I know some of you have had a really hard start to life. You didn't get what you needed, and now you find yourself floundering. Or you've gone the other way and become so driven while you pretend the stuff that happened didn't really affect you at all. Whatever you did with it, it doesn't matter. What does matter is that you, if you care to, you can get back to the connected being that came to the planet so many years ago now. She is just below the surface and ready to come to take an active role in your life. And here's another big bit of information that I find both mind-blowing and incredibly encouraging. So we were born out of an energetic force. That is the universe, is what the universe is made of. The energy is full of nothing but possibilities. So we are nothing but possibilities. It has access to an infinite amount of information and is powerful enough to create anything it wants. But depending on how we grew up and what we were exposed to in our formative years, our vision of ourselves got diluted dramatically. Again, this is the tamed down version of us, not the wild and powerful us. And this stat is going to blow your mind. In every second of our life, 400 million bits of data is coming at us. 400 million bits of data per second. That would be absolutely overwhelming for us to take in. So over time, and with all the influence of our upbringing and our unconscious mind, started to pare down that information to an astonishingly low 2,000 bits of information. 400 million bits being offered and 2,000 bits being accepted by your unconscious mind. Our unconscious mind automatically narrowed our field of vision that dramatically as a result of our formative years. If you want to be exposed to more opportunity, you have to expand what you're taking in, and you can do that. Think about what would happen if you expanded that 2,000 bits to just 2,500 or 5,000 or 10,000 bits per second, or simply a different 2,000 bits. Can you see how learning to see more or different stuff would offer you the chance to live a different, more connected life? In a nutshell, this is what I want to do with this show. I want to show you how your power leaks are narrowing your field of possibilities. They're narrowing what you believe is available to you. They are limiting what you think is possible for you. I want you to expand in your understanding of what you're connected to, and that you have a choice on whether or not you want to take advantage of that. You came with intention. You chose where you'd land, and you have something that only you can bring the world. And if you're walking around in your life like you don't matter, that you have nothing to contribute, that there's nothing unique and remarkable about you, I'm going to turn that idea on its head. There is nothing accidental about you being here, and there is nothing accidental about you being drawn to this show. Everything that I want to do here is about showing you in incredibly simple ways how you can become aware of both your power and your power leaks, so you can choose a more powerful path. This knowledge is for everyone. It's not difficult to understand, but it will take some commitment to holding on to and implementing in your life. That's all because of the egoic part of your subconscious mind that has put you in a survival mode. That's its job, to help us survive. And that has many people convinced that surviving is enough. It's not enough. You're meant to thrive, and that can be interpreted in any way that is meaningful to you. This show can help you see where you are playing it safe, in survival mode, and it can open a door to you realizing that in a real and significant way. From there, you will have the confidence to claim what is in your heart to claim. There's a world out there trying their very best just to get by. I've spent a lot of years doing that myself, but we're done with that now. This is the moment where you get the opportunity to see what's in the way so you can get it out of the way and find a clear path to the future that is calling you. That calling is unique to you, and if you don't embrace it, it goes undone. That's not the end of the world. Life goes on. Billions of people are in that loop right now, just acting as if those 2,000 bits of information is reality, and building their lives on that limited foundation. But if you want something different, then stick around and see if these conversations don't spark a level of understanding that you've not experienced before. The famous Sufi mystic said, you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in a drop. That's from Rumi. That's a powerful concept to remember. Most of the world is walking around like they're just a drop, insignificant, nearly invisible, certainly not powerful or purposeful or capable. What if you could live in the knowledge that you are the ocean in a drop? What if we all lived in that energy force and used it to do good in the world? Now, I'm not much of a God person. For me, it's a word that conjures up a lot of negative stuff for a lot of people. In many cases, it's been used to divide us instead of unite us. So I usually choose a different word to describe that energy. That said, one of my very favorite quotes in the whole world is from a woman who uses it, and I believe her intention is a positive one. So here are some good words from Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So that's why I'm here. All I want to do is have a conversation of sorts about how we can all open the door to the magic that is within us. Live wild instead of tame. That begins by you first understanding what you've got going on in your unconscious programming that is narrowing your field of vision and what is possible for you and your life. The first step will unlock so much I cannot even begin to say, but I will try my best in the coming episodes. We're going to do all that with a great sense of humor, a lightness of heart, and through simple, easy to understand stories and examples that you can immediately apply in your life. What I want for you to experience is just how intrinsically powerful you are, and then live a life that reflects that understanding. Well, I trust that's inspired you and that you want to stick around. If you subscribe to the show, you'll get notified when the next show drops. But more importantly, that action helps the show get noticed. And the more of us doing this work, the better our world will get. Know that I don't drop the shows on a regular basis. I drop a new show when I have a new concept to share or a way for you to have an even more extraordinary tool to navigate your awareness. So that's it for this show. See you on the next one. Ta for now. Oh, and if you want to go deeper with me on your journey, pop over to lanesmithbrown.com because I'm always offering different stuff, so it changes over time. Now, don't forget to subscribe, okay? See you soon. Well, I hope this show rocked your world a little bit. If you want additional resources, check out the links in the show notes or at lanesmithbrown.com. And before you go, please subscribe to this podcast. It's how we get these tools into the world. And this world needs more wild women standing in their authentic power. Do that for me, will ya? Thank you.